Hi.
Hello again. Franz has been discussing the correct use of knowledge, and in Romans 14 he makes the point forcefully that knowledge, even true knowledge, can be used in an abusive way that violates the conscience of your Christian brother, for whom Christ died, Paul says. And he uses two examples from Scripture itself, from the New Testament, of where you have a clear principle laid out. One is Mark 7:19, where it says that Christ declared all foods clean. So for some that would be a new law. All foods are clean.
Yeah.
And therefore you can turn it into a law. And that would be an abuse of the principle.
Because there might be other people's consciences involved.
This, depending on how mature the Christian is or how new he is to Christianity, let's say he's from a Jewish background, he would have scruples, and they're not going to disappear overnight.
That's right. So you have to be caring about your brother enough that you would sacrifice your knowledge for his scruples.
Yeah, in that case, love triumphs over judgment or even truth.
Right.
Truth can be used abusively. The other text is Colossians 2:16 and 17. Why don't we read that one?
Again, I'm reading from the New World. Therefore, let no man judge you in eating and drinking, or in respect of a festival, or in observance of the new moon, or of a Sabbath. For those things are a shadow of the things to come, but the reality belongs to the Christ.
So that seems clear. Some Christians could read that as, well, I'm not going to let anyone disagree with me on these things, that these things are just shadows, and therefore if you observe them, you are in effect going back to the law.
And yet it started by saying, let no man judge you, if you were still practicing those things. So they're missing the point.
Yeah, Paul's point there, and especially in Romans 14, is love your brother in the way he needs to be loved, because he may have tender conscience, whereas you don't. You may have got past it, or never. If you were a Gentile, you never felt that way. So
That's
it's
right.
easy for you to observe this principle. So that's Paul's counsel in Colossians 2. But Ray reasons on this that we can become enslaved again to our mistaken understanding of what truth is for. He's made the point on a prior page that truth and even knowledge are for the purpose of loving your neighbor better and loving yourself better. So he goes into that more here in the next paragraph. Some issues are crucial because of the effect they have. The same apostle fought tenaciously against, not those who still felt moved by conscience to observe certain features of the law, but those who sought to impose law-keeping on others as essential for salvation, knowing how destructive this would be of Christian freedom, how it would essentially nullify the effect of Christ's sacrifice. And he alludes to Galatians 5:1-4, which we'll read in a minute. He fought not simply against that which was mistaken, but against that which was harmful, damaging, enslaving. In understanding scriptures, rightness and wrongness are always important, since they determine the degree of benefit we gain from our understanding. But that importance is always relative, and in some cases simply not worthy of dispute, certainly not of division. Merely proving by argument something to be right or wrong does not of itself accomplish what Christianity is all about. We need to seek, then, not merely knowledge, but wisdom, insight, sound judgment, and thus gain the ability to use knowledge effectively and to good purpose. James asked, "Who is wise and understanding among you?" and says that such one should demonstrate it not simply by manifesting his wisdom in an intellectual way, but by his good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. That's James 3 verse 13 in the NIV. So here's the master text that Ray is alluding to, which is Galatians 5:1-4.
Therefore, become imitators of God as beloved children, and go on walking in love, just as Christ also loved you, and delivered himself up for you as an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling odor. Let fornication and uncleanness of every sort, or greediness, not even be mentioned among you, just as it befits holy people. Neither shameful conduct, nor foolish talking, nor obscene jesting, things which are not becoming, but rather the giving of thanks. Oh, I read the wrong passage.
You got some free Ephesians here.
Sorry.
Galatians 5, 1-4.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, I had it marked. For such freedom, Christ set us free. Therefore, stand fast. Do not let yourselves be confined again in a yoke of slavery. See, I, Paul, am telling you that if you become circumcised, Christ will be of no benefit to you. Moreover, I bear witness again to every man getting circumcised that he is under obligation to perform the whole law. You are parted from Christ, whoever you are, that try to be declared righteous by means of law. You have fallen away from his undeserved kindness. Well, yeah, that fits better.
Yeah, but it's all good.
It's all good.
So what's the major point here? That, well, in Galatians, this master text of the Reformation, not just of Ray Franz's discussion of legalism and licentiousness here, this was one of the two great books that brought about the Reformation, was instrumental in Martin Luther's seeing that legalism, as it was practiced back then around 1500 in the Roman Catholic context, was ritualism as well. Let's not leave that out. All of this was an invalidation of Christ's sacrifice. It was not bringing us greater freedom, but greater slavery. And so here he's saying that we could go mistakenly in either direction, and that had already happened in the first century. That even the great rival to Christianity, Gnosticism, was leading in two different directions, i.e. licentiousness, or that is a carelessness about the flesh in general, so that nothing that we do in our bodies counts for anything, so we can do anything we want, or the opposite, which would be extreme legalism. And neither of them was Christianity. So I think here it's good to go back to James and get sobered up. Who is wise and understanding? And he says, using our wisdom in humility is real Christianity. It's a loving of using knowledge and wisdom to love your brother and yourself better, and love the Lord thereby. So I think that would be a good link for us too. James's definition of true religion.
Very practical stuff.
Very practical. So put that on your screen, and next time Ray talks about resisting the crippling power of bitterness.